Well, here we are. We're going to have a lesson on modeling multiplication with arrays. Our essential question today is how can you use arrays to model multiplication and find factors? So we've modeled multiplication in all different ways. Now we're going to use multiplication arrays to find factors. So the definition of array is a set of objects arranged in rows and columns. And so to make an array, we place the same number of circles in each row and the same number in each column. So columns go up and down, guys, and rows go left to right. That's important to remember. Columns go up and down, and the rows are left to right. So arrays kind of look like a garden or a row of desks. Anything that you can think of that would be in rows and in columns. So let's look at a problem. Many people grow tomatoes in their gardens. Lee plants 3 rows of tomato plants with 6 plants in each row. How many plants are there? Well, the first thing we need to do is look at what kind of a picture we can draw. So let's think of rows. Remember, rows go left to right. So we're going to look at the number of plants in each row. He has 3 rows. 1, 2, 3 rows of tomatoes, and then 6 plants in each row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants in each row. So then we have to figure out how many tomato plants are there. And we're going to do that by counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So now we can tell that 3 rows times, and this is 6 columns, equals 18 plants. Let's look at arrays a little bit differently. We're going to use 8 tiles to make as many different arrays as possible. And we have to use all 8 tiles every time. So use 8 tiles to make as many different arrays as you can using all 8 tiles. Well, let's look at the first way. We took the 8 tiles and we put them into one row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8 tiles in this row, and we've got one row of 8 tiles. That gives us one row of 8, and that's equal to 1 times 8, because we have one row times 8 tiles, and that equals 8. Well, we're going to take those 8 tiles and we're going to do something different. We're going to make another array. We're going to put 8 rows now. Here we are with our rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, but there's only one column. Over here there's 1 row and 8 columns. Over here there's 8 rows and 1 column going up and down. So this would be 8 rows of 1. 8 times 1 is 8. This is 1 row of 8, and this is 1 times 8 is 8. And that's how we use arrays to find our factors, because our factor over here is 1, because we have 1 row. And right here, we have 8. So 1 times 8 is 8. Right here, we use it to find this factor, which is 8. And right here, we have 1. So 8 times 1 is 8. Let's look at 2 more. We're still looking at using 8 tiles to make as many different arrays as possible. So let's take these 8 tiles and let's make 2 rows of 4. 1, 2, I'm going to start my rows. So I'm going to have 2 rows and I'm going to have 4 tiles in each row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here I do have my 2 rows, and my 4 columns. Columns go up and down, and rows go left to right. 2 times 4 is 8. Well, then let's keep going, and we're going to look at this one, and we're going to make 4 rows of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And how many are going to be in each row? 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So again, we see we have one factor. Here is 4, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And if I switch colors so you can see the columns, we have 2 columns. 1, 2 columns. So 4 times 2 is 8, just the same as we have right down here. So using those same 8 tiles, we made 4 different arrays. We made as many different arrays as we could by using all 8 of the tiles. In this one, we used 1 row of 8, and we got 1 times 8 is 8. In this one, we used 2 rows of 4, and that gave us 2 times 4 is 8. In this one, we used 4 rows, and then there were 2 in each row. That is 4 times 2 is 8. And the last one is 8 rows, and there's only 1 in each column, or 1 in each row, sorry. So that's 8 times 1 is 8. 8 rows, 1, 4 rows of 2, and 2 rows of 4, and 1 row of 8. So there are 4 different ways to make arrays using 8 different tiles.